Welcome everyone to Ein Sof Learning. We're going to continue our series today on the halachot of Shabbat, meaning the Jewish laws of the Sabbath. Today we're going to continue with the laws of getting a haircut on Erev Shabbat, as well as the laws of cutting your nails on Erev Shabbat. These are two things that, generally speaking, it's customary for people to cut their nails or get a haircut in order to prepare for Shabbat, to sanctify the day, to look good, make sure everything's all perfect for this special meal and the special occasion, which we have every week. Us lucky Jews, it's very special to have this privilege of Shabbat. But we need to know what to do and what not to do. We need to be very particular with not breaking the laws, but also making sure that we sanctify it as much as we can. So this is always, of course, for one reason. If you want to simplify it, it's to sanctify Shabbat. All of these halachot, all of these laws, they're not meant to keep a person down. In fact, they're meant to make the experience of Shabbat that much better by sanctifying it, by making everything as special as it possibly can be, right? So we get a haircut, we want to make ourselves look nice, cut our nails, make sure our hygiene is good. So let's see what is the first halacha pertaining to getting a haircut on Erev Shabbat. And just to remind us, Erev Shabbat is the period of time, the 24 hours preceding Shabbat, which means from Thursday evening to Friday evening. That's known as Erev Shabbat. Let's begin with halacha number 39. In honor of Shabbat, it is a mitzvah to cut one's hair on Erev Shabbat. It's a mitzvah, it's a good thing to do, to cut your hair, to get a haircut on the 24 hours before Shabbat begins, which means from Thursday evening, to Friday evening. That's called Erev Shabbat, the day before Shabbat. Preferably, one should get a haircut before Chatzot. If one could not get a haircut, then it is also permitted to do so after the time of Mincha Ketana. Mincha Ketana is the small afternoon prayer service that's recited by Jews during the afternoon hours. We know that Mincha is one of the three scheduled prayers that Jews recite every day. There's Shacharit, Mincha, and Arvit. Shacharit is the morning prayer. Mincha is the afternoon prayer, and Arvit is the evening prayer. Those are the three scheduled prayers that we have every single day. We know that the Shacharit, Mincha, and Arvit are the acronym for the word Shema. In the Shema Yisrael, Shin Mem Ayin stands for Shacharit, Mincha, and Arvit, the three prayers that a Jew recites every day. So it's saying here that if you couldn't get your haircut before Chatzot, then it's also okay if you get your haircut after Mincha Ketana. But if one is too busy to cut his hair on Friday, then he may also do so on Thursday. So if you're not able to cut your hair on Friday, then it's also okay to do it the previous day. Even when Rosh Chodesh is on Erev Shabbat, Rosh Chodesh is the beginning of the month, the first day of the new Jewish month. Even when Rosh Chodesh is on Erev Shabbat, some people have the custom to refrain from taking a haircut. However, even those who have this custom may cut their hair and shave on Erev Shabbat if they feel unkempt and are doing so in honor of Shabbat. So typically on Rosh Chodesh, we don't get a haircut, we don't cut our hair, we don't shave. But if your intention is to do so for the honor of Shabbat, then even if it's Rosh Chodesh on Erev Shabbat, you can get a haircut, you can cut your hair, you can shave. Very nice. 42. Even when Pesach, which is the Jewish holiday of Passover, falls out on Shabbat, one may get a haircut on Erev Shabbat after Chatzot. So even if Passover falls on the Sabbath, falls out to be on Shabbat, you can still get a haircut on the day before Shabbat after Chatzot. When Lag BaOmer is on Erev Shabbat, Lag BaOmer is a Jewish holiday that's celebrated on the 33rd day of the Omer. Actually, right now, we are in the Omer. I'm not going to count because I'm going to do it later after Arvit today. But on the 33rd day of the Omer, it's called Lag BaOmer. And it's a very special occasion. We have a bonfire, we celebrate, there's other festivities, right? So even when Lag BaOmer falls on Erev Shabbat, even the Sephardim may shave on Friday in honor of Shabbat. Typically speaking, during the Omer, we don't shave, right? During these 49 days, we don't get a haircut, we don't shave. But on Lag BaOmer, it's okay for Sephardic people to shave on Friday, if it falls on a Friday, if it's for the honor of Shabbat. And in such a case, if one is unable to shave on Friday, he may even shave on Thursday night. So it's not only on Friday. If you're not able to do it on Friday, you can even do it on Thursday. 44. One may not take a haircut on Chol HaMoed, even if it is done for the honor of Shabbat. So if Chol HaMoed falls on Erev Shabbat, you still cannot get a haircut. Chol HaMoed is the intermediate days of the Jewish festivals of Passover and Sukkot, which are not considered to be fully festive or fully weekday. It's kind of in between. It's called the days of Moed. There's a different prayer we say during that time. There's all sorts of changes. But it's saying if Chol HaMoed falls on Erev Shabbat, you're not allowed to get your haircut for the honor of Shabbat. Okay. 45. It is permitted to take a haircut on Erev Shabbat even if it's Purim. So typically speaking, on Purim, right, we should not usually get a haircut, but if that Purim falls on Erev Shabbat, it's okay. You can get the haircut. Ben Ish Chai states that one does not have to cut one's... Ben Ish Chai states that one should either cut his own hair or have it cut by a non-Jew. So if you're going to get a haircut on this Purim day, which we just said is on Erev Shabbat, it's okay to get a haircut, but you should either do it yourself or you should ask a non-Jew to do it for you. Now we're going to begin the laws of cutting nails on Erev Shabbat. It is proper to cut one's nails specifically on Erev Shabbat. If that is not possible, then one may also do so on Thursday. The Ben Ish Chai states that one does not have to cut one's nails every week. You don't have to cut your nails every single week. But it suffices to even cut your nails once every couple of weeks. So even if you don't do it every week, every couple of weeks you should do it. And you should do it particularly on Erev Shabbat. 47. According to Sephardic custom, it is permitted to cut one's fingernails and toenails on the same day. So there's this idea that's brought down in Kabbalah by the Arizal that you should not really cut your fingernails and your toenails on the same day. But that's a stringent approach. We don't really follow that, and we don't have to follow. You could. That's fine if you do, but it's a stringent approach. The Arizal was not stringent to cut them on the same day. So for that reason, one does not have to be stringent. Because he was not stringent, you don't have to do it either. This is unlike the custom brought in the Mishnah Berura. Because in the Halacha Berura, it states that one may cut them on the same day. One may only cut them on the same day if he did not have time to cut his toenails on Thursday. So there's difference of opinion by the Mishnah Berura and this halacha that's been brought down as a result of the Arizal, who was not taking this as a stringent approach. He would cut his fingernails and toenails on the same day. Therefore, we are going to say that we can do it too. Very good. 48. One may cut his nails in the regular order, and one does not have to cut them out of order. So there's this idea that there is an order to cutting your nails. However, one should cut the fingernails on his right hand before cutting the fingernails on the left hand. So I'm going to read the commentary here. The Rama brings the custom that one should not cut his nails in order. You shouldn't cut your nails in order. And the reason is because that one who cuts his nails in order can bring upon himself poverty, forgetfulness, and even can cause premature death to one's offspring. So it's a curse. It's an unholy thing to do, to cut your fingers in order. Meaning you go from your pinky to your middle ring finger, middle finger, pointer, thumb. You shouldn't go in order like that. You should cut them out of order. However, many great halachic rulers, they're called poskim, right? They neither heed this warning, nor do they state that one is obligated to abide by this custom. The Magen Avraham goes as far as to state that the Arizal, the greatest Kabbalist of the late 500 years, right? The Arizal himself would make fun of this custom. And he was not worried about cutting his nails in order. He wasn't worried, if I cut them in order, there's going to be a curse. He wasn't like this. Birkei Yosef states that Sephardic people are not particular about this custom, and that one may cut their nails in order. So we're not, Sephardic people, we're not very stringent on this approach. It's okay if you cut them in order anyways. In Petach Hadavir, it states that this is also the opinion of the Shulchan Aruch, unlike the Rama. The Rama disagrees. The Rama says you shouldn't cut them in order. But the Shulchan Aruch, according to Petach Hadavir, says that it's okay as well. So, in any case, Pela Yoetz states that one has nothing to lose if one is stringent and doesn't cut his nails in order. So, it's okay if you cut your nails in order. You have nothing to lose, however, if you want to take the stringent approach and not cut them in order. So that's a halakha for you. 49. After cutting one's finger or toenails, one must wash his hands. This is required even if one did not cut all of his nails. So you should wash your hands, and the reason is because, you should do it 3 times. You should do the ritual hand washing, it says here in the commentaries. One should wash his hands 3 times each, just as one does upon waking up in the morning. This is according to the Ben Ish Chai. So of course that means that we're not washing our hands for purposes of cleanliness. It has nothing to do with physical health. Of course, if you're going to touch your feet, then you should clean your hands because it's dirty. You don't want to touch your face and all these things, get infection everywhere. However, that's not the reason that we do the hand washing after we cut our nails, our toenails. The reason that we do it is some sort of a spiritual reason, which again, I don't know the reason, and we're not going to get into it in this video. This is just the laws. 49. We already did 49. 50. The Gemara states that a pregnant woman can possibly have a miscarriage if she accidentally steps on a fingernail. So you cut your fingernails and they all are on the floor, they're dirty all over the place. If a pregnant woman mistakenly or purposefully, whatever, walks over these fingernails, it can cause her to have a miscarriage. This is a mystical connection here. For this reason, as an extra precaution, some people are very careful that they burn their nails or they bury them because they don't want anyone to mistakenly step over these nails because it's a curse for a pregnant woman. Flushing the nails down the toilet or placing the nails in the sink and flushing them down with water is also something that you can do. If one cut his nails and one of the nails fell on the floor and they can't be found, let's say you lose track of your nails, if they fall over the floor, then you should sweep the floor. You should clean the floor. And the reason why that's okay is because, according to some opinions, if you just move the nail from the position that it fell, let's say it fell on a spot on the floor, but if you move the nail from the spot that it fell to a different spot on the floor, then from its original place, meaning, then there's no longer any danger. It's no longer, the curse doesn't apply anymore. So you can just sweep the floor, even if you don't find it. As long as you sweep the floor, you know that you've moved it from its original place. Therefore, it loses its spiritual power to cause that miscarriage for the pregnant woman. Very interesting and cryptic, mystical explanations here. I mean, we're not getting the explanation, but very, very interesting. So, I want to read the commentary for us. Eliyahu Rabbah and Ta'amei HaMinhagim state that one of the reasons that are given that nail can cause such a danger is because before Adam, before the first human, sinned, his body was covered with a layer of skin that was the same texture as one's fingernails. So we know that Adam Harishon actually was made of fingernails. I mean, not necessarily fingernails because that's for the finger, but nails. The same texture of one's fingernails, that was actually the type of body, the type of skin that he had. After he sinned, the nails only remained on the top of the fingers, which is what we have now on the 10 fingers that we have. Since Chava, commonly known as Eve, but her name is not Eve, her name is Chava, which comes from the word life. She's the mother of all life. Since Chava, who was a woman, caused the sin of the Etz HaDa'at that resulted in Hashem removing the nails from the body and replacing it with regular skin, women are punished by being in danger when they step on a nail. So part of the curse for Eve, as a result of her disobedience towards Hashem and eating from the Etz HaDa'at and being the reason why Adam Harishon also makes the sin, is that she will have a miscarriage, or she has the chance of getting a miscarriage by standing or walking over the nails, the fingernails that one cuts on Erev Shabbat if they fall on the floor. The Chida in Birkei Yosef and Shirei Bracha states in the name of Prisha that through sweeping the floor and the nails from their original place, there is no longer a danger involved, since according to most opinions, it's not a physical danger, but rather it's a spiritual type of danger. Remember, we said it's not a logical reason as to why stepping over the nails causes the chance of a pregnant woman getting a miscarriage. It's more of a mystical reason behind it. And the detrimental spiritual aspect of the fallen nail is only present in the place that it originally fell. Again, we said if we sweep the floor, you move the nail from its original place, that no longer applies. According to Elia Rabbah, the nails need to be swept out of the room. So according to him, they shouldn't be in the same room. You should sweep them outside of the room. Pri Chadash states that one should not initially cut the nails with the intention of sweeping them afterward. So you shouldn't consciously cut your nails with the intention of them falling on the floor and then having you or someone sweep them after. Only in an ex post facto situation, which means that you didn't intend for this to be the case, but they accidentally fell on the floor. Only in such a situation is it okay. Chida clarifies that one is allowed to initially cut one's nails with the intention to sweep them away if one sweeps the nails out of the room. So it's okay for you to actually have the intention, it says, to cut them and have them fall on the floor, if your intention is to sweep them outside of the room. If your intention is to sweep them only within the room, then it's not allowed. But if your intention is to sweep them outside of the room, then it's okay. Again, it seems very technical, and I'm not laughing at the halacha, I'm just laughing at it's very specific. We should be very, very careful to make sure that our fingernails or our toenails, which we cut them on Erev Shabbat, don't fall on the floor. And the last halacha we're going to deal with in this video is that one who is an unveil means a mourner, someone who's within the first 7 days of a loved one's passing, is called an unveil. So one who is an unveil may not cut his nails even on Erev Shabbat until the Shloshim. So that means until the 30 days passed since the person has passed away. So within the 30 days after a person has passed away, the mourner is not allowed to cut their nails on Erev Shabbat. But after 30 days pass, then it's okay. But you're also allowed to do it on the Shloshim if it falls on second, unless the Shloshim falls out on Shabbat. So you may not cut your nails on Erev Shabbat until the Shloshim, but if the Shloshim falls out on Shabbat, then it's okay. You can do it on the Erev Shabbat. So, very good. This has been the laws pertaining to cutting your nails on Erev Shabbat and cutting your hair on Erev Shabbat. In the next video, we're going to speak and learn about the laws pertaining to washing one's body on Erev Shabbat, meaning getting a shower, taking a bath. What are the laws of that? Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.